Hi, everyone. It's Andrea coming back with some more spoken words from the Lord. Like I said, he's pouring out his spirit and much will be exposed. Much is being exposed as we're seeing the downfall of humanity, Hollywood, the music industry, the Freemasonry. We're seeing the secret societies being uncovered and brought to light as the Lord said it would happen in the Bible. So this evening, I was again standing in my kitchen, and I tell you these things because I just live normally like you, and then I start to hear the Lord speak. And what I heard to start with was Pontiff, and then I heard global unity. So let's get into this spoken word, and we'll just go over a few pictures here in the beginning. And okay, so I put a picture of a Freemasonry. This is the Scottish Rite. This is a ziggurat, okay? And if we look at the ziggurat, okay, it's the same kind of picture here, all right? So we know there's always been secret societies. They've had them, since probably, I would imagine, back in Egyptian days, okay? Secret societies, not worshiping God, although they don't think God can see anything. And then I have the, all religions are equal picture. That was the tile for this video. And let's get into this spoken word. Okay, we're going to go over a bunch of stuff that the Lord gave me, and then it'll all make sense why these pictures are here. Okay, so I heard Pontiff, and then I heard global unity. Well, we know where that leads, right? So then he started to say the highest level of Satanism is coming for all who dwell on the earth. The powers that be on earth will bring in their new world order. This is Armageddon, the final battle in the spirit. Whom will you choose? The deception of wickedness or me, the almighty maker of heaven and earth? Bound by ties to Satan are those not in my covering. That's his Holy Spirit. These are the cords that bind you here as I set the captives free with my death, burial, and resurrection. The Pontiff has great power, as the religions of the world started with the Catholic Church. Schisms foretold in the Bible would be the great falling away. My hand is upon my chosen, protecting them from the satanic agenda incoming. I was like, what are we supposed to be expecting, Lord? And you know what, you guys, what's going to happen is he's going to lead us out. Remember, no fear. Jesus already wins. We know that. But he's warning us now that this is the starting of their new world order that's starting to come in, the highest level of Satanism. All right. Their pawns are now being put in place. So I don't know what we have to look forward to, but I know that there's a financial collapse coming. He did say that. Again, I don't know what form and how long. We know that Trump gets taken out by the breath of his mouth, who is the man of perdition. We know, and he's gonna explain this now with the Pope. Okay, we know who he is too, but he explains it even more. Okay, my hand is upon my chosen, protecting them from the satanic agenda incoming. The powers at the top all worship in the darkness underground. Even I can see the darkest holes they slither in. The Pontiff is the false prophet, and all those that fall under the Pontiff are the false prophets in false religion. No matter the schism or false faith they have in man-made doctrines, they're all in one basket. The sleight of hand are those involved with bringing in all to worship Satan, if it were possible. Okay, so what he's saying is, the sleight of hand are those involved bringing in the worship of Satan, if it were possible for us as his, chosen, to be deceived. It's just not going to happen. And it's not going to be possible because he's going to bring it to an end. He's saying if it were possible, and it won't be. But we're going to start to see them try. Okay, so we need to be ready for this because we're at the end. My hand of protection will be lifted as I take my bride to me. That's the restrainer that he's going to lift. That's what it seems like in this one. They can have this world as it will burn like an oven that I will turn up to the highest heat possible to burn those that worship false idols and false religion. Well, what did he do to Sodom and Gomorrah, you guys? He burned it to a crisp. So if you ever have seen those videos, documentaries on Sodom and Gomorrah, it's just ash. It was the hottest balls of sulfur that you could even imagine. The hottest blue of sulfur. That's coming for earth again. The time you live in is short. It's a vapor. And soon my full wrath will come upon this world, as this is the final battle against dark and light. Will you worship the beast, or will you turn to me? Those that I have plucked out of the fire, and I had a vision of that about a year ago, that I was being plucked out of the fire. I saw a big hand come down and pluck me out of the fire. And those that have hearts to serve you and me, forever they will be in my kingdom. My burning anger is for those that have chosen in their hearts not to believe I speak to my own. The rooftops I spoke about are those that never went back to their old lives of sin and debauchery, as I saved them from his mark and the burning lake of fire. This is the beast and the system. And the mark of the beast, which are the farm plus the karkia and the sorcery that went into the wing of the temple, which we are that temple in the last 4 years. All will come to light in this short amount of time to plunder those that chose Satan and not me. Idols of gold and silver won't save you. I am the great I am, and nothing comes before me nor after. So the gold and silver is interesting, because today I was driving into the Target parking lot and I heard the Lord say Demetrius, but he gave me a few words prior to that. And it was like maybe an hour later, but it's interesting because when he gave me Demetrius, I knew exactly what he meant. And I was like, oh my goodness, because Demetrius was a silversmith. So we're going to get into it. Hold on to your crowns, my bride. I am coming soon. No longer bound to the cords that keep you on the earth. I am coming quickly. Pray for the lost and for those that have decided to shun me, as their future is forever in hell with whom they love more than me. Father Abba, your Elohim. Okay, so before I heard Demetrius today, so we've got that spoken word, and I'm going to go over some scripture and go over some things that the Lord told me before tonight. So I heard these three. I actually heard ziggurat about 3 times this morning. Then I heard Babylon, and then a bit later I heard Demetrius. So ziggurats are first attested in the late 3rd millennium BC, and probably inspired the biblical story of the Tower of Babel, which they did. What is a ziggurat and what is it used for? Okay, that's this building over here to the right. You've got the Freemasonry ziggurat trying to get into heaven a different way, which is not the God of the Bible, right? Satan, Lucifer. And then you have a real ziggurat, probably kind of reminds you of Babylon, right? It's when Nimrod was around, this is that time frame where they would build these shrines and worship idols and try to get to heaven and build it really, really tall. And then, of course, God destroyed it and, actually split the people apart so that they couldn't understand each other anymore, and they all spoke in different languages. So that's why we're all scattered now. All right, so each Mesopotamian ziggurat was a large tiered structure rising upward like a pyramid. Well, I just went over the Bieber video, right? Where they give you that pyramid on their hands. That's what they're doing. They're showing the all-seeing eye pyramid who they worship. Okay, this is Satan. It's a different Jesus. That's just one example. And you can see Trump does it when he sits down and he gives you the triangle between his knees. You'll see it. Just go look at pictures, or when he sits down, he'll put out the triangle right between his legs, between his knees. That's how he sits. This is all about who's got the highest rank, right? So these temples were believed to be a connection between the human world and the heavens above, and also serve as a residence for an ancient Sumerian god. Ziggurats commonly had shrines at the top, middle, and bottom levels to worship other gods. These were shrines of worshiping other gods and trying to climb into heaven without the one true God. Mystery Babylon is falling, as we're starting to see this new world order coming in. We're starting to see the one world religion, where the Pope is the highest part of the satanic realm. He is the leader of the coexisting of all religions, and that all religions lead to God, which we know is not true. So for those with eyes to see what is really truly going on, the Lord is revealing all of this to us so that we're not in any fear. Okay, we don't walk in fear. We know who wins. And if we die into this world, it's okay. We know we're going to go see Jesus really soon. And he's taking us really soon. We just don't know what all needs to transpire before he takes us. We're done with the 7 years. We're now into what I would imagine is probably what they would call then the 8th year, which is kind of like the year of the Lord, right? There's a whole year. He told me that to remember to look up Ezekiel. He told me, look up the day to a year prophecy. So I don't know where that 1 year would have started. It seems to me like perhaps we're looking at into Pentecost next year, maybe it'll take a little bit of time for that, all of the stuff to unravel. Because remember, he left on Pentecost, so maybe he'll come back the same way as it said in the Bible. We just don't know, but we know that we've wanted the rapture, so we still need to be looking up every day, you guys. The rapture is not a salvation issue unless you're not born again and you're trying to mislead people. That's the whole point of looking up, is that we are to be one body looking up and eager for the return of Christ. I mean, that's what we've been trying to parlay, especially me on this channel, as I've served the Lord for almost 4 years. I'm looking forward to his return. I wished it was 3 years ago. I mean, I can't wait to leave this wicked planet. I know many of you are weary too. Those of you that hear him, those of you that are working for the kingdom, putting aside your life and literally putting down this world, because it's soon to end. All right. So ziggurats again had shrines in the top, middle, and the bottom levels. And notice any similarities. I had put a question mark between the Masons, the secret societies. He's saying that he can see down this. When he said this, I was like, ooh, even I can see the darkest holes they slither in. So this is the snake and Lucifer and his minions. And yeah, so it's all coming to fruition. So Demetrius. Okay, so now we've got the ziggurat and the fall of Babylon. We're here, right? Well, when he said Demetrius, this is all about idolatry. Okay, so Demetrius appears in the Bible in Acts 19 and 3 John 1. Acts 19, Demetrius was a silversmith, silver and gold, right? In Ephesus, who made silver shrines of the goddess Artemis. Well, if we look at Nassau, Artemis is a rocket. You've got Apollo, that's a rocket. I mean, you guys, they really truly, Satan, if you look at Nassau, the T is missing. We've all kind of seen the symbolic nature of things. They're all trying to get to heaven without the one true God, right? Trying to send rockets up there, and there's probably a limit that they can get to, but I don't know. If you don't laugh, you cry, because it's crazy to watch this world and see it for what it truly is. At least what he's willing to show us, at least for this moment. I think things are going to get a little bit more wild as we start to see, as he said, many things are coming upon this. What did he say? Many things are coming. Maybe it was in the last. Maybe it was in the last one where he was saying that many things are going to be coming upon the earth. Okay, many strange things. So we're probably going to see more on UFOs. They're going to probably try to convince us that we have helpers, and who knows what's going to happen. Remember, guys, don't ever fall for anything they tell you. Okay, we're not subject to the wickedness. So the Lord said he will protect us until he takes us out, obviously, and then they can have the world. He said they can have it, but he will burn it. Okay, so Acts 19, Demetrius was a silversmith. When Christianity spread and the worship of idols declined, Demetrius's business suffered. He convinced other craftsmen to ride against Apostle Paul, who was preaching against idol worship. Well, that's what the message has been for me for the last 3.5, 4 years on this channel, is that all the Lord tells me, most of it is about idolatry, okay, and all the sins. And idolatry is the highest one. It really is, that he's a jealous God, and that he's going to come and put an end to all of this idolatry. Okay. All the secret societies, all of Hollywood, all of the music industry, it's coming to an end. And the riot demonstrated the impact of the gospel and religious practices in local economies. The rest of this article will concentrate on the more prominent Demetrius found in Acts. The Demetrius was a silversmith who made his livelihood from making silver shrines of Ephesus in the temple of Diana or Artemis. I've done a video, I don't know, maybe almost 2 years ago regarding some spoken words that the Lord was showing me. There was a lot of connections to the United Kingdom monarchy, where even like Queen Elizabeth had coins where she was portrayed as Artemis. So there's a lot of interesting connections to idolatry. Well, if you look at England and you go anywhere, and I've been there, I've been over to London a few times, and every store you go into, any store near and around that, the palace, everything is shrine. It's a shrine to the wicked kingdom of the elites. And so we're back here. I mean, we're really here looking at idolatry in its face, in its rawest form, right? We can see it in the airwaves. We can see it in Hollywood. We see it now in the political realm. They're all on the same team. So we don't vote when we're Christians. We stay out of everything. We have to step out of this world, because once you give your oath and your vote to someone as well, now you're just kind of connected to them. None of it matters to me. I'm sure it doesn't matter to you either. When you're born again, you want nothing to do with this world. Idolatry is no different today, seeing idol worship of Hollywood and the music industry. Sports is a big one. How many men do you know that if their team doesn't win, they go into a depression, especially when the Super Bowl happens, which is a highly demonic time for the wicked and the Satanists. They do a lot of trafficking in those games, and there's a lot of debauchery that goes on. All of this stuff is witchcraft and high satanic worship, So anyway, the schisms in the Catholic Church. So let's go over the schisms. Now, you're going to be shocked by some of this information, or you might not be. But anyway, in 1 Corinthians 12, 25 through 27, that there should be no schism in the body, but that the members should have the same care for one another. Okay. And that's the key here. Where is the one body? That's why this is so few. Most people out here are false Christians. Once saved, always saved. They're in some sort of a schism. They're believing in man-made doctrines and not hearing the Lord, so they have no truth. And they're teaching the Bible incorrectly. All they've done is stepped out of the church to make their own money. They've created a church online. They ask for PayPal and for telling you lies. This is why he said the lying spirits were in full force. Okay? And we're starting to see this. The allegiance to Trump, lying spirit. Number one. Anybody in asking for money or they're not in any type of knowledge or hearing the Lord, you have to hear the Lord. You just said that. You have to hear him. So the Great Schism of 1054 split Christianity into the Roman Catholic and the Eastern Orthodox denominations. It was caused by a number of factors, including doctrinal differences, the rejection of papal authority, which is probably a good thing, but then they all went back to a different type of idol worship. Maybe it wasn't the Pope, but they lined their pocketbooks with preaching false doctrine. All they did was they'll strip out a little bit of the Catholic belief system, intertwine it into their own, and just like all false religion, there's an element of truth, but most of it's mixing with lies. The only way you're ever going to know the truth is if the Lord tells you and teaches you himself. I mean, literally hearing him and having him teach you Bible. I mean, I don't know. I just look back and I think when I look at my phone and how much prophecy and just even spoken words and Bible verses and like the amazingness of the vastness of Jesus and his truth, it will set you free because your life will completely change when you hear the Lord. Okay. You won't be in any of this stuff out here. It's just, you see it for what it is. You're not in any schism. You worship Jesus and Jesus alone. There is no religion in it. It's a relationship. Okay. And so followers of Jesus span the globe, but the global body of more than 2 billion Christians is separated into thousands of denominations. Well, how many do you think there are, you guys? Look, 45,000. That's not one body. I mean, I was shocked. I thought it was more like 4,000, but it's 45,000. All right. So Pentecostal, Presbyterian, Lutheran, Baptist, Apostolic, Methodist, the list goes on. Estimations show that there are more than 200 Christian denominations in the U.S. and a staggering 45,000 globally, according to the Center of the Study of Global Christianity. So why does Christianity have so many branches? A cursory look shows that the differences in belief, power grabs, and corruption all had a part to play. Well, look at all of these ministers and pastors that are being exposed now. You've got T.D. Jakes, you've got just even down to like some of the more of, I would say, like the normal churches are now having their ministers step down due to sexual sin. And the Lord is going to expose as much as he wants to. I mean, we're starting to see the crumbling of Babylon. Babylon is falling because they didn't worship the God of the Bible. But on some level, differentiation and variety have been markers of the Christian or of Christianity since the very beginning. According to Dermot McCulloch, professor emeritus of church history in the University of Oxford in the United Kingdom, there's never been a united Christianity. Well, this guy is telling the truth because we need to be one body. And as he's bringing the body together, the small 144,000, those of us that have been marked and sealed, have been told we are invited into the wedding supper of the Lamb personally. And that is an invitation from the Lord. It's in Revelation 19. Need to read it. Okay, this is a personal invitation for those of us that serve the Lord. 1 Corinthians 1:10, I appeal to you, dear brothers and sisters, by the authority of our Lord Jesus Christ, to live in harmony with each other. Let there be no divisions in the church. Rather, be of one mind, united in thought and purpose. And it's a wonder we even see anybody that is truthful out here online, because I don't see unity whatsoever. I see hardly any unity. The Lord is, going to pour out all of this. He's going to bring to light what he will. Each of us are responsible for what we bring forward. The Lord is giving us each an assignment, as I put out on video a few videos ago, that each of us have assignments, and all of us should know what our assignments are by now, especially during this last 7 years. Okay, so cords. He said the cords are being cut. Cords are also used in the Bible for casting lots, fastening tents, leading or binding animals, hitching to a cart or plow, and binding prisoners. Well, what did he say? He was going to bind. I can't remember what he said. So much. Here, these are the cords that bind you here as I set the captives free with my death, burial, and resurrection. Okay. Well, that's what this means. So, measuring ground and worn on the head as a sign of submission. The great falling away is what he's talking about. The great falling away, or the great apostasy, is a biblical doctrine that refers to the predicted abandonment of the faith by professing Christians. The term is mentioned in 2 Thessalonians 2:3, which states, let no one deceive you in any way, for that day will not come, except there comes a falling away first, and the man of lawlessness, the son of perdition, right, is revealed, the son of destruction or perdition. Well, it's Trump. He's said it out loud. He has used many of us as mouthpieces, okay, to speak the truth. We know that Trump is the man of lawlessness, son of perdition, has been revealed by the Holy Spirit the last 3.5 years. I haven't stopped talking about it. I knew in his first presidency because of the way that the Lord was giving me the word. So you guys, you have to remember that anybody is worshiping the beast and its system, especially the Pope and Trump right now, they are in a schism. They're in false religion and they do not have a relationship with the Lord. So the doctrine of the great falling away is based on the idea that Jesus Christ prophesied this event in both the Old and New Testaments. The doctrine also suggests that during this time, Christian believers lost or corrupted important doctrines and rites. Rites are part of the secret societies as well. Okay, so we have to understand that these are people, professing Christians, that are in corrupted doctrines and religious rites, and they're not in any relationship with the Lord, hearing him. The word falling away in the Bible is apostasia, which comes from the root word apostasan and apostemi. These words can mean defection, separation, divorce, writing off divorce. Remember, he was talking about that in a couple of videos ago, where he was cutting the vow. He was getting rid of the vow, and to these people that are choosing not to worship God the right way in reverent fear. Writing off, forsaking, removing, instigating revolt, desisting, deserting, departing, and drawing away. There is only one worthy of our true worship, and that is Jesus Christ alone. It's a relationship. We hear the Good Shepherd and we follow him wherever he goes. And wherever we go. I mean, we follow him wherever we go, and he leads us, and that's it. So if we want to, we got to keep our, I'm going to say we got to keep our eye on the Pope. We got to keep our eye on the Pope, what he's saying. We got to keep an eye on this one world religion and one new world order that's coming in. We got to keep an eye on Trump. Now, he's speaking a lot of good things out here, okay, that he's going to be doing in his presidency. You guys, he's the lamb that speaks as a dragon. This is why the delusion is so thick, because he sounds so mesmerizing. He's so about the evangelicals. Meanwhile, he's taking them to the pit. All right. So we need to pray for those that are still lost. If there's any chance that they can come back, or come to the Lord and come to his feet. He's a merciful God. But he said he is releasing those people in my last video, that standing there at the door to hell, the abyss, he's going to let it happen, because he's giving people over to what they truly want in their hearts. Okay. And so we need to watch. We need to keep watch and keep vigilant on what is going on. Don't ignore it. You still need to, keep your eyes and your ears fixated on Jesus, but we also need to keep an eye on the serpent. Okay. We don't want to be beguiled, and we won't be, because he said that he has protection and he's got his hand on us until he takes us out of the way. Okay, everybody. God bless, and we'll see you on the next one.